ของ Xiaomi ในวันนี้นะคะแล้วก็ขอต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่งานแถลงข่าวเปิดตัวสมาร์ทโฟนเรือนธงสุดล้ำที่ชื่อว่า Mi Mix2 นะคะสิ้นสุดการรอคอยแล้วค่ะสำหรับ Mi Mix2 นะคะที่หลายๆคนก็รอมาแสนนานนะคะแล้วก็ขออนุญาตทักทายสำหรับท่านผู้บริหารแล้วก็แขกผู้มีเกียรติที่เป็นชาวต่างชาติกันสักนิดนึงนะคะ Good morning ladies and gentlemen I'm ปานพีรพิพันธ์ and I will be your MC today on behalf of Xiaomi I'd like to thank you everyone for being here with us today to witness the key milestone of Xiaomi and welcome to the launch of Mi Mix2 press conference of course the long wait has finally over and Mix2 has truly here arrived in Thailand and you can experience it outside and maybe somebody here already experienced it now. Today we have one of Xiaomi's top executives who will share the thoughts behind the flagship smartphone Mi Mix2 และลำดับต่อไปนะคะเราก็มีผู้บริหารของ Xiaomi นะคะคุณสตีเวนหวังหัวหน้าฝ่ายการพัฒนาการตลาด Xiaomi Global บนเวทีนะคะเดี๋ยวก็จะได้เรียนเชิญขึ้นมาได้กล่าวถึงโทรศัพท์รุ่นใหม่ที่เป็นเรือธงรุ่นนี้นะคะ I would like to invite Mr. Steven Wang, the head of expansion marketing Xiaomi Global on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome คุณ Steven Wang, the head of expansion marketing ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณ Steven Wang ด้วยค่ะหัวหน้าฝ่ายการพัฒนาการตลาด Xiaomi Global นะคะเรียนเชิญค่ะ
Hi everyone, welcome to our launch event today. Glad to see all these faces here. So I'm gonna first introduce Xiaomi a little bit, and then we'll dive into the product. So for myself, I am, like our MC said, the head of expansion marketing at Xiaomi, and very glad to see everyone here today once again. So let me begin by introducing Xiaomi's history a little bit. So Xiaomi was a company founded in 2010, and by our CEO Lei Jing, who's sitting in the middle right here, with his co-founders. And they had a dream basically of creating great products for as many people as possible. So their efforts have obviously paid off. 7 years later, Xiaomi sits as the number 5 smartphone brand in the world. So this is according to a recent report from IDC. We have a 100% year-on-year growth from last year, which makes us actually one of the fastest growing brands in this whole industry. And just last month alone, we shipped 10 million units, which was another company record for us. And our friends in the media, this right here, Fast Company, has also called Xiaomi one of the most innovative companies in the world. So how did we get so many achievements in such a short period of time? Xiaomi has only been around for 7 years, but we're in the rankings with some of the top companies in the world. So first, I think I can attribute it to an innovation in technology. So here's an example of one of our innovations. This is the Mi Mix. So we launched this device last year, and it was the first bezel-less device on the market. And there were many technologies that we put into this device in order to eliminate the top forehead. I won't go into all the details, but you can see a list of all the technologies here. And the media last year loved the Mix. So MKBHD, a famous YouTube blogger, said it's the world's most interesting phone. And a lot of people said it's the smartphone of the future, basically. Mi Mix last year also received the IDA Gold Award for design. So design is something that we place a lot of focus on, and I want to talk a little bit more about this award. To give a better understanding of what this award is about, basically in the past 37 years of existence, the IDA Gold Award has only gone to 12 phones. Actually, the only iPhone that's received an IDA Gold Award was the original iPhone. So you can think over the past how many ever years, how many phones have been launched in the market? I think countless, thousands of phones, and only 12 of them have received this award. So it really is a testament to the design and innovation of Mi Mix. Mi Mix was also actually recently added to the Design Museum in Helsinki. And here is the certificate. And we wanted to highlight this because it was added to the museum for the fact that Mi Mix set the direction for future smartphone design. So remember, this is last year before everyone has been seeing the current 18:9 full screen display trends on the market. Our innovation also doesn't stop there. In just 7 years, we have accumulated over almost 5,000 patents, and we've applied for over 16,000 already. And so just to give everyone an understanding, this is a massive amount for such a young company, just 7 years. So it really is a testament to our focus on R&D. And while we're really in pursuit of innovation, we also pursue an innovation in design. We're always testing new things. So this is one of the devices that we launched recently. This is the Mi 6. But the Mi 6, this one is a special edition, Mercury Silver. And our design doesn't just stop at smartphones. You can see the design language is consistent throughout all of our devices, and we hold ourselves to very high design standards across all of our products. All in all, our products have received over 100 design awards from every single award across the continent, across various continents, basically, including the IF Award and the Good Design Award from Japan. So recently, we just launched this air conditioner called the Smart Me Air Conditioner, and it received another award this November, this month. And the special part about all of these products is that all of these products are linked to a Mi Home app. So you're able to control all of your products that you buy from Xiaomi through one app alone, seamlessly. And right now, the Mi Home app has over 60 million connected devices to it. So the second reason I think for Xiaomi's success is an innovation in business model. So what do I mean by that? Xiaomi is a smartphone company, like everyone knows, but Xiaomi is also an internet company, and Xiaomi is also a new retail company. So here's a diagram of our business model. It's basically a 3-part diagram. We make hardware, we're an internet platform, and we focus on new retail. So I already covered hardware. What do I mean by new retail? So first of all, new retail means e-commerce. We started Xiaomi with Mi.com by selling phones directly to consumers on Mi.com. And actually, we hold the Guinness World Record for the most phones sold in 24 hours on a single internet platform. We've since then expanded to offline stores as well. So right now we have 220 stores in China with a goal to build 1,000 stores in the next 3 years. I think this past week we opened up a flagship store in Shenzhen, China. And this is our CEO, Lei Jing, saying hi to the consumers and the fans. Here's some of the highlights of that store opening. we're also doing this globally. So globally, we have over 130 stores now worldwide. And this is an accomplishment for us. Here's a picture of a store in Russia. You can see many people flood to our stores. And right now, we have entered in over 60 markets worldwide as of today. So we've been expanding globally rapidly. And one of these markets is Thailand. So Thailand is an extremely important market for us. And we officially entered Thailand back in August of this year with some of our best-selling products. So we launched the Mi 6 in August, which is our flagship device for this year. And we signed on with 3 e-commerce partners, namely Lazada, 11th Street, and Shopee. And we aim to be over 150 retail locations in Thailand by the end of this year. So we're being very aggressive in Thailand in terms of our global expansion. And we've already opened up 2 authorized stores in Thailand. And this is a shot from the day of the launch. You can see a lot of people at the stores. So the launch was really well received. And you can just look at all these number of people waiting to enter the store. And the Mi authorized stores are a great way for consumers to experience our products as well, phones as well as the ecosystem products. In fact, we've launched over 40 ecosystem products already in Thailand today. And I'm proud to say that we're going to bring over 60 ecosystem products by the end of 2017. So today we're going to launch the Mi Mix2. And Mi Mix2 launched initially back in Beijing in September. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the reviews on the internet. Here are a few. Forbes said it's a refined evolution of the bezel-less phone. Mashable was blown away and said, nothing prepared them for the Mi Mix2. It's in a luxury class of its own. And The Verge said, it's the phone that comes closest to reaching the full screen goal of this year. So what is the Mi Mix2? Let's dive into it. So first, it's all about the display. It's all about the full screen display. So here it is, Mi Mix2. Let's turn on the display. Almost all phone. It's the jungle background. Desert background. So before we go into the phone, I want to take a look at the history of displays and how we actually got to this point. So this is the evolution of displays on devices. I'm sure everyone is familiar with all these displays. As recently as 2015, most phones had a top bezel and a bottom bezel, basically equal in size. And we basically shattered this norm last year with the original Mi Mix in 2016. The original Mi Mix did not have a top forehead. So we think that this is the future of smartphone display technology. If you look at the Mix2, all you see is display. And we've been at the forefront of pushing this display technology. So how do we do this? Number one, where did the earpiece go? Right, in a traditional phone, there's an earpiece right there. Everyone has seen it. Everyone has it on their phones. What we actually did is we created a guided earpiece system where we push up the earpiece all the way up to the bezel so that the earpiece is actually sitting in the rim of your phone. Number two, there is something called a proximity sensor inside of your phone. So when you pick up your phone and you put it next to your face, your screen turns off. So the proximity sensor is very important, and it's usually a black dot next to the earpiece. Where did that thing go? So instead of the traditional proximity sensor, we've installed an infrared proximity sensor. So the infrared proximity sensor is actually located underneath the display and uses infrared waves to detect whether you're putting your phone up to your face or not. So it's using ultrasonic technology. So here's a summary. A hidden earpiece as well as an infrared ultrasonic proximity sensor. So those two things were eliminated in this display. Now, another innovation of the Mi Mix2 is the rounded display corners. Right? This seems like something small or minuscule, but it's actually a huge improvement in user experience. Usually corners are square. So right here is a traditional display with a 90-degree corner. Now let's see it turn into a rounded corner. You see how much extra real estate there is in that rounded corner? It's this that optimizes the full screen display in the Mi Mix2. And finally, where did the selfie camera go? Right? Everyone has a selfie camera on the top of the forehead usually. So for the selfie camera, we actually reduce the size of the camera sensor and put it into the bottom of the chin. So you can see here, there's the selfie camera is actually at the bottom of the chin, and the camera actually can rotate around to take selfies. So you still have your same selfie user experience, but the camera is hidden. And compared to the iPhone 8 Plus, the chin is 41% shorter because we've done a lot of reduction work on the chin as well. So all in all, it creates this full screen display effect. And it took a lot of innovative technologies to get here. I just named a few. A guided earpiece, ultrasonic proximity sensor, and a lot of technologies to reduce the chin size, as well as a hidden, smaller camera module. So let's take a look at the user experience of the display in actual use. So first of all, Mi Mix2 comes with an 18:9 display. What does that mean? Usually, when we started thinking about full screen display, usually displays are 16:9 aspect ratio. For Mi Mix2, we created it as a 16:9 or 18:9 aspect ratio. And we made this whole decision for a few reasons. So the first reason, 16:9 is not suited for a full screen display. If you look at this phone right here, it would just look very odd and squished and weird if it was actually 16:9. So we created a custom display for the Mix at 18:9 aspect ratio. And this was not an easy task actually. So I'm going to go into a little bit of a story here about how we created an 18:9 display ratio. So before, as late as last year, mid 2016, Google did not allow Android manufacturers to make anything beyond a 16:9 display ratio. And this is because Google needs to maintain consistency across all Android devices so that apps can be used across all Android devices in a optimized user experience. And they created something called CDD, which everyone must follow, otherwise you cannot use Android operating system. So we were blocked at that time by Google in using the 18:9 display aspect ratio. So we realized aspect ratio must change. We need to have 18:9. But Google rejected our initial proposal saying, look at our CDD, you need to be 16:9. This is how everyone is doing it in the industry. And after a lot of internal discussion, we still maintained that we needed the display to be more than 16:9 in order to provide a better user experience. So now, Google is an innovative company, and it's also focused on user experience. So we believe that there was a chance. We just needed to convince Google that the user experience of 18:9 is a good one. So last September, we flew to Mountain View and we showed them the first Mix before it was launched. And we explained the improvements and why we thought the future of smartphone development was in this direction. And in the end, we were able to convince Google to allow Xiaomi to use a 17:9 display on the Mix concept device. And so here are actually some of the actual emails that we had exchanged with Google on this decision. And they said the final decision is that the aspect ratio and rounded corners can be used. Congratulations on launching an impressive product. So actually, not even 2 weeks after we launched the Mi Mix, Google officially updated its CVD, and it clearly stated that there are no more restrictions on screen aspect ratio. And this year, they even posted in their blog that it recommended developers to start taking advantage of new displays on devices such as the Mix. So on the outside, it didn't seem like such a big deal that we made an 18:9 display, but it's not as easy as people make it out to seem. It was actually very, very tedious to make this small breakthrough. Because standards are very important, Google has to maintain its standards. And this is just one of the small examples of Xiaomi's contribution of pushing the industry towards a full screen display. So, Mi Mix has a 5.99-inch display. Why do we choose 5.99-inch? People think it's very large when they think 5.99-inch, but we have to recalibrate how we think about screen size here. Mi Mix2 is the same size as a traditional 5.5-inch display. Now let's take a look at the Mi Mix2 next to the new iPhone 8 Plus. It's almost identical in size, but it's actually 7% smaller, 4% shorter, and 9% lighter. So compared to the iPhone 8 Plus, it has an 18:9 display, and it increases the display area by 12.5% while maintaining the same form factor. Now check out the differences in actual use. So on the left here is 16:9, and the right here is 18:9. Pretty much get an additional paragraph when you're reading articles. Navigation is also easier. You can see more of the map. And here's a photo of our e-commerce platform. You can see more products on an 18:9 display, but same size, same form factor. And this is gaming, so you can see more in your game when you're playing the game compared to a typical 16:9 display phone. So aspect ratio is integral to user experience, but so is the implementation. And we thought really, really long and hard about how to provide the best display. Because this year, there are a lot of people changing to 18:9 display. So you can see these are phones from 3 different manufacturers that has changed the 18:9 display and have tackled the top bezel differently. So on the left is the Samsung S8 Plus, iPhone X, and Mi Mix2. So Samsung basically reduced the forehead and the chin. iPhone chose to go with a notch design, and we chose to eliminate the forehead altogether, as well as reduce the bottom. So in our opinion, these are 3 directions that full display will take in. And in the end, we chose our own path. We chose this unique path that the Mi Mix was designed. And this is a picture that I saw online, which I thought was pretty funny. So we chose to do our method for 2 reasons: a larger usable screen area, as well as better user experience. So I already talked about why user experience was optimal on 18:9 display. What do I mean by larger usable area? So I took this picture off of the iPhone X website for developers. So iPhone actually advises its developers to have a usable display area and not use the top area. So essentially, iPhone has a top bezel that it doesn't recommend developers use and dig into. It's the same in landscape mode. In contrast, you can see Mi Mix has 100% usable display area, which makes it more immersive in our opinion and less disruptive. All right, now let's talk about the design of Mi Mix. we wanted to really preserve the uniqueness of Xiaomi in the design. We refused to just squeeze all this technology into a basically functional frame. So we actually collaborated with a world-famous designer who shared our vision. So Felipe Stark, some of you guys might have heard of him. He's one of, I guess, in my opinion, the most talented industrial designers in the world. And he's known for being on the very cutting edge of design, as well as his pursuit of less is more. So he's been contracted to design some of the world's most beautiful creations. Like this yacht right here is actually Steve Jobs' yacht that Steve Jobs found Philip Stark to design. He also believes that design improvements for the largest possible number of people is key to actual design. So he created masterpieces for the masses, and this really resonates with our philosophy of innovation for everyone. So this example is the Ghost Chair by Philip Stark. And it's one of his most famous and beautiful works. And among his portfolio, he also designed the original Mi Mix. And he said some stuff about the Mi Mix2, so let's take a look.
Real creativity, deep creativity, sometimes surprising, create the next standard, always. It's natural vision. It's also the natural frame of life. It's even the frame, the proportion of Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci, masterpiece. It's sometimes strange, but good to take time to make the perfection. Just 7 days to create perfection. And also the same value than the next word. Why? It's because it's just more friendly. We create the most powerful smartphone in the world. For now, we just create the absolute perfection.
Okay, so Philip Stark has been an integral part of Mi Mix2. And his design, paired with Xiaomi's technology, has really brought us a great product. So let's take a look at the design. First, as I mentioned, 18:9 display at the center of the industrial design. Next, it uses a super slim, rounded aerospace aluminum as the alloy frame of this whole device. And the matte aluminum finish is very light, it's firm, and it's resistant to corrosion. It's incredibly thin at just 7.7 millimeters. And the front of the device looks like a slab of glass. It's very, very simplistic. To achieve this effect, we actually used a super black camera in order to make the camera not very obvious and blend in. It was actually a very difficult process, but we thought it was worth it to display the beauty and the slab black. The back plate is made out of a four-sided curved ceramic. And the camera is lined by an 18K gold carat rim. Very luxurious. So Mi Mix2, right here, front and back, is truly beautiful, I think. It's the ultimate balance of strength and aesthetics. So you really have to see it in person to understand why it's so special. There's just something very elegant about the ceramic backplate. So more on the ceramic. How do we make it? On the left is a raw piece of ceramic, and on the right is the finished piece. It actually goes through a lot of different processes. So for 5 days, we heat it at 1,400 Celsius for 5 days. And then we put it under 240 tons of pressure in order to create the final backplate. So 240 tons of pressure, what does that actually mean? Well, at 240 tons, it's actually equal to dropping 110 Mercedes S-Class in weight onto the back of the ceramic plate. So the ceramic is actually a huge major undertaking, but we believe it's worth it because ceramic is twice as hard as typical glass and it's scrap resistant. And this is one of my favorite shots. Mi Mix2 is subtly reflective on the back because of the ceramic, and it really shows in this picture. So I've actually never seen a more beautifully designed smartphone. It's gorgeous, it's unique, but it's also very natural. So let's take a quick look at the Mi Mix2 in motion. That was pretty cool, right? Alright, here's the summary of Mi Mix2 that I've talked about thus far. It all begins with a beautiful 18:9 display, no forehead. Four-sided curved ceramic provides an amazing hand feel. Hidden earpiece, hidden proximity sensor, super black front, pure minimalistic design. So what powers this work of art? Snapdragon 835, sorry. So Snapdragon 835 is unique because it's the first processor to use 10 nanometer FinFET technology. And 10 nanometer FinFET technology basically gives better battery life and better heating on all devices. So this is the flagship processor of this year. And it's also backed by 6 gigs of RAM. And it comes with 64 gig storage. So everything is top of the line basically. 27% improved performance and 40% improved battery efficiency with the 10 nanometer FinFET technology from last year. 6 gigs of RAM for all the multitasking that you need, and 64 gig built-in storage. Now, last thing we want to talk about, camera. I think everyone really uses their camera the most on their phones these days. We source the camera from the best in the world. So this rear camera sensor is made by Sony, and it's the IMX386. What is special about this camera? So this camera, it has large 1.25 micrometer pixels. What does that mean? So on the left here, you see the typical 1.0 pixels. They're smaller. On the right, we have 1.25 pixels. That's on the Mi Mix2. So at 1.25, the pixels are significantly larger than 1.0 pixels. And 1.25 pixels actually take in more light, which creates more vibrant photos than 1.0 pixels. So this we actually created with Sony in order to take more vibrant photos. It also comes with 4-axis optical image stabilization. So I'm not going to explain exactly the technology behind this, but let's just take a look at some demos. So this is without OIS, this is with 4-axis, and this is 2-axis. So you can see how stable 4-axis image stabilization is compared to no stabilization or even 2-axis that's in most phones today. 4-axis OIS and larger pixels means it takes great shots in low light as well. As well as better shots for moving photography and moving video. So we really try to optimize this for your everyday use. Let's look at some of the sample photos for Mi Mix2. This was shot in India when we went to India. This is a temple in the morning in, I think, Taiwan actually. Here's another great picture captured by the Mi Mix2. Look at the reflection of the boat on the water. It's very clear, very crisp. At sunset or sunrise, actually these shots are very difficult to take because of the changing light, but you can see how well Mi Mix captured even in the low light here. And here is Mi Mix capturing against the light, which is also very difficult because of exposure, but the sky and dark foreground with beautiful orange sky in a single shot is very, very beautiful. And this is all made possible because of the larger sensor as well as the 4-axis OIS. Here, the sky, look at the sky blueness as well as the sharpness and edge, as well as the dynamic range. The sloping roof on this temple, all the red bricks are very distinct and visible. And this is New York City. And you can see the buildings in this picture contain hundreds of little intricate details and architecture. And here are some shots that we took in Spain recently. You can see no distortion actually. Beautiful, just walking around the park. We took this shot just in the park recently. So it's a true flagship camera for a true flagship device. 4-axis OIS paired with the Sony sensor ensures high quality photography for a broad range of circumstances. So Mi Mix1, when we created it, it had a huge response globally. A lot of people said they want to use it in their country. So when we were looking at Mi Mix2, we wanted to make sure that it was a truly global device. So Mi Mix2, it supports 43 bands across 6 networks. What does that actually mean? These are all the bands, but what does that actually mean? It means that the Mix2 works in 226 regions across the whole globe. Basically, almost every single region. And this is how it stacks up against competitors. 43 bands versus 38 bands versus 30 bands. In fact, it has more bands than any phone in the whole world. It's actually very difficult to jam all these bands into the phone. So the first difficulty is jamming all the bands into the phone. Second difficulty is making sure that they all work. So we put a lot of effort into this by doing global field tests everywhere. We went to over 100 countries. And so we went to, for example, Spain, Japan, France, South Korea, even went to Egypt, 5 bars at the pyramid. So actually, now that I look at this, field testing is a pretty sweet job. And all of these come together to make a truly global smartphone. So it's innovation designed to be used across the whole world. So now, what everyone's been waiting for, after hearing about all these amazing features on Mi Mix2, what is the price? All right, let me summarize first once again. Mi Mix2 has the most immersive 18:9 display, 4-sided ceramic design, Snapdragon 835, which is top of the line this year, 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gig storage, top of the line Sony sensor with 4-axis OIS, and the most bands in the whole world. It's basically in a class of its own. It's the cream of the crop. It's the most premium out of all premium devices. So let's compare once again. Screen size, 5.99 versus 5.8. Material, Mi Mix2 is made out of ceramic, 43 bands, 6 plus 64. Here in Thailand, iPhone X costs 40,000 Thai baht, and Samsung S8 Plus costs 30,000 Thai baht. So how much does Mi Mix2 cost?
พี่ไก่4,900
Just 17,990 Thai baht. Incredible price, right? And it will be available on November 15th on Lazada, as well as these offline retailers, including Xiaomi's own off-price stores. So that's the Mi Mix2. Full screen display at just 17,990 Thai baht. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steven Wang. Thank you very much.